I apologize that we're still pushing out Halloween videos in the November, but we had 2 videos halfway done before 11 Labs banned every voice, and we had hard delay. So to not waste our work on these videos, we just decided to finish them with the new voices and post them as fast as possible. That's why you can hear voice change in the middle of the video, and these 2 Halloween videos will be basically a test of the new software, so let us know if there's something wrong and we'll try our best to fix it.
Please don't tell me you have another stupid spooky list. I hate this month. I want it to be Christmas already.
I feel you on the Christmas bit, but stop being a puss, Biden. Most of these lame-os aren't even scary. Speaking of, how do we rank them? Is it based on their creepiness, or do we just rank them how much we like them?
I don't know, man. I'll just rank them based on how good of a job they do being a mascot of their franchise. But I never played Choo Choo Charles, so do any of you want to share any experience with this guy?
Did you just assume Choo Choo's gender? How dare you, you bald-ass bigot? Choo Choo identifies as a fucking train, and that's final.
It's not that serious, Joe. It's just a Videogame character. If anybody played his games, then I'm going to go purely off his appearance, and that's a neat design, but nothing too crazy. So it's B tier.
Next up is the real OG, a legend even. Guy that's built exactly like Barack.
Hey!
He was the first creepypasta that went mainstream, no? At least the first one I encountered. You damn well know where he belongs, Obama.
Of course I do, but in terms of video games, only one of them was actually banging. The rest were as bland as Taylor Swift's discography. As an urban story, he'd go to S tier instantly, but here it's a tier at best.
Whoa there, cowboy. This isn't a horror video games ranking. It's a goddamn horror video games mascots tier list. Slender is one of the most intimidating creatures here. His smooth face surface without any facial features, his long-ass toothpick arms, and those tentacles make him so menacing.
That's fair, actually. Slenderman to S tier. Here we go.
Blood trying to be Fabrizio Romano so bad. Ekem Baldi?
Oh, not Baldy. He was my math teacher back in elementary school. Those bruises and PTSD never went away.
How the hell do you manage to get more and more demented with each passing day?
Refraining from Joe, I don't get any uncanny or eerie feeling when looking at Baldy, but rather the goofy one. The game is a really fun experience, but Baldy is just a bad horror character. I don't think anybody would have a problem with me putting Baldy in C tier. I don't hate the game, and that's honestly the only thing keeping me away from putting his ass all the way down to D tier.
I would not refrain from putting him down there if I was you, but to each their own. Next character is a bit too ethnic for me personally, so it's all yours to rate, Obama Tunji.
What the fuck? I assume that was a retrospective on my rant I went on the last video about the whole Lunchley crew. I agree, though. It was a bit too long, and I want to apologize, but yeah. So we're talking about Amanda specifically, even though there are 2 characters in the picture. Amanda the Adventurer is a great example of analog horror theme done, right? Her unnerving speaking manner and harsh 3D model makes her a really good mascot for the franchise. What do you think, Joe, since you're an expert on the kids?
I don't know what that cute little girl is doing here with all those creepy, spooky monsters, but goddamn is she hot.
I regret asking. I'm just going to put her in A tier and move on. What's next on the list? All right, Mr. Neighbor. When the first game was in its alpha stage, I honestly thought that this franchise will become the next big thing in indie horror game scene, but it seems like developers just lost their original idea, and this game just lost its original tension, and running away from the neighbor is no longer a thrilling experience, but a frustrating one. Because of that, I just don't feel bad about putting this dude into D tier because he is a joke now.
Bro just went on and unleashed a whole-ass essay out of pure hatred toward this guy. Now, that's the level of hating I can put respect on, Obama. Keep it up. By the way, have you seen that lately? Uvox AI replied to one comment under our last tier list. It's the first instance where I seen a legit great AI president's channel in our little community here. Shout out to Uvox AI though. Keep those vids up. Back to the list though. Huggy Wuggy from Poppy Playtime is next.
My guess is that Joe already played through entire game, or am I wrong? Seeing as it's a game that really got successful among the younger side of the gamers.
You're right, Barry. They should release a sex doll inspired by Mommy Long Legs. I would buy up their entire stock.
Barack, just let me decimate the hell out of this fossil. I can't stand his demented ass. Do you hear what he is saying?
He said much worse things in the past. I wouldn't worry about this specific one. This would be legal at least.
Whatever, dude. Now what the fuck is Garten of Banban?
You're asking the wrong person, but we have a tier for characters we don't know well enough, so if Joe doesn't have anything to add, then I'm putting this thing in there.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I remember Markiplier playing this game, but it didn't stick to my memory.
Of course it didn't. Just like anything else when it comes to your memory, Captain Dementia. Next up we have Joe's Mom. No, but it's actually a really good survival horror game for being released on mobile. I always respect someone who made a lot with not much resources, and to make such a viral game for mobile is admirable feat. I remember playing Granny back in 2019 or something like that, and it was actually scary for the first time. Now it just looks goofy as hell with those stiff animations and 1980s graphics, but I'd still give him a solid rating. It's up to Barack if he played it or not, because if he disagrees, then you can be sure as hell he never played this game.
It's not my fucking mom, you obese hippo.
Damn shush, just don't get rage baited, Joe. You're giving him exactly what he wants by getting angry, but I have to agree on Granny. It really is goofy with those animations, but it's just keeps you hooked on for hours when you play it. It's been overplayed now, and Granny's more of a joke now than actually a scary villain. But I have to give her respects, because everybody who's been playing some games will recognize that old-ass monstrous face. A tear is where Granny goes. So I hope you guys vibe with this rating.
If you dare to put Freddy Fazbear in any other place in top tier, I will track you and your whole family down and slaughter your lineage one by one while making you see it all and regret those choices and how easy it was to avoid that tragedy, but your dumb ego just couldn't hold back and wanted to. Challenge Biden, blast Mike.
Sure you will, buddy. Now let's get you to bed, because you gotta be sleepy if you think I wouldn't put him there. Isn't Five Nights at Freddy's the biggest horror franchise of all time by now? Not sure. By it surely is biggest video game horror franchise, because as might as Silent Hill or Resident Evil are huge. You can't really compare them to FNAF. This shit got everyone hooked all day and night by working out those theories, especially MatPat. Or spent half of his life just chugging down Red Bulls and finishing up scripts for another game theory episode on Five Nights at Freddy's teaser, all to get blasted by another troll from the website put in there by Scott Cawthon.
Yeah, no wonder Joe likes those animatronics so much. There are little kids stuffed inside them. But another one is Bendy, and I think I heard about it, and I get the gist of it, but I never actually played it. It feels like one of those games our dementia patient played before, because he always plays those YouTube games. We don't know when he's left alone for a while in his office. This fucker would rather play the OGET game than do it.
That's not true, but you just happen to randomly be right this instance. Bendy might be a demon, but his design is great. The way he is a cute old cartoon guy that just happened to transform to a terrifying monster is amazing. You gotta see his full form if you never witnessed it.
I don't know where and if I did, but I do remember this guy looking not so cute anymore and all screwed up. So while I can't rank him from the player perspective, I can see him going in B tier just because of his design. You gotta be creative enough to make an old Disney-styled character to look scary, and I'm pretty sure it's scary if that guy chases you down in the game. But I will not speak more on that matter, because I want to get to the next antagonist, which is Spooky, and while she's not scary herself, and the game isn't really scary too, and rather boring. It's fun for the first 5 minutes when you get a few jump scares and you got that ghost chasing you down in the dark maze. That's actually the only part that's not dreadful about this game, but Spooky herself is not scary at all. And I don't really know or care why she's the main character. She's going down in the dookie tier.
That's a lot of hate for one little girl, and that's kind of made me worried about your daughters. But I'd rather you roasting the shit out of that girl than Joe creaming his pants in our voice chat. We're coming awfully close to 8-minute mark, and we have one character left to rank, so that's actually perfect timing. And I don't why someone put a pig head on Granny's attire and called it a day with the original design, but it's just called being lazy. That's like Barack calling himself first black president because he could—
Excuse me?
I don't know why I would put ice cream on my pants, so you better change your roast game. Donnie, and also Piggy is amazing design. Piggy isn't just a random character thrown into the mix. He has a rich backstory that ties into the lore of the game. The story reveals a dark narrative about betrayal, loss, and a desperate quest for revenge. Unlike Granny, whose motivations can feel vague, Piggy's journey adds depth and layers to his character, allowing players to empathize with his tragic past while still being terrified of him.
Holy shit, he actually played the game. Just put this dog shit knockoff into the F tier and let's wrap this up before Joe goes on one of his dementia rants.
I will do just that, because I have too much of respect for Granny to let him change my mind and side with Piggy. But I gotta admit that his talk was kinda getting me engaged. I don't know, just remember to subscribe and tell us in the comments which one of these is your favorite. Have a good night and remember to stay positive and think about how lucky you are to even be alive in the first place. Next time you wake up, instead of nagging about how uncomfortable getting out of the bed is.
Subscribe to Oval Office Gaming right now, or Barack will go get your oil with his drones.